in full color and also documents the physical structure. Everyone has a manual for their phone, their vehicle, for their sewing machine, whatever it is that you are doing. You have an operating manual. Many of us don't have any manual for our physical structure. We don't understand how our physical structure actually functions. So we'll be here with you in Dominica specifically. So inviting you to actually send us a WhatsApp on 1758-722-3660. That's 1758-722-3660. 1758-722-3660. Or send us an email at blessedlove@priestkailash.com. That's BLESSEDLOVE, blessedlove@priestkailash.com, where definitely, we could have a one-on-one with you to help you alleviate whatever problem it is that you are suffering from. As you know, for the time being, since I've been away from Dominica, I've been bombarded with requests for people with cysts and fibroids and people who want to have baby and cannot have baby. I know it's a long time, but definitely we'll be with you shortly. So just, save your little, energy and thing, and know we'll be with you from next week, Tuesday, until, Thursday, our book launching at the Fort Young Hotel. So give us a call and make your appointment in time to have your blood analyzed and see exactly how healthy you are through observing your blood by yourself. So it's not like you go into a lab and a doctor take your blood and go in a little secret room and then you don't know what's going on. You'll be right there with me and you'll be able to observe yourself exactly how is it that your physical structure actually operates. So we give thanks again for Q95 and give thanks definitely as for the rest of the week. Every morning we'll be with you. That's unless you'll have a riot tonight again.
I don't think so. We are peaceful people.
I know, Dominica is a lovely country, so don't get carried away with what you see happening in the world, Even if we don't agree with things, violence is never a resort, Love is always the key, the golden key, to open wide Zion door. So deal with love and with one another, and don't make political turmoil and these things that get you to violence and these type of things,
All right, blessings, my brother. Yes, we'll be talking to you again tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Yes, man. First thing tomorrow. Bless love, blessed love, blessed love. Dominica, I love you.
From the bottom of my heart, I'm so glad I found you.
Some of us just have to stay at home, huh?
From you I'll never part. You are the queen of the Caribbean. Your kind of beauty I have never seen. I love this country. Dominica, Dominica.
Straight to the semifinals. Dominica, I love you. Stefan out of Trinidad and Tobago being featured this year for sure. From elimination, now what Sam is.
And this country impresses me. One big family, one big family. I admire your ability to withstand political adversity. One big family, one big family. I respect the efforts of your Prime Minister and concerns of the opposition leader. I enjoy all radio talk shows with diverse opinions, sometimes comedians pledging for the needy. Man, be proud of your country.
Coming up at 1 o'clock, Dominica, right after the news.
A corruption scheme, it has to do with a corruption scheme, taking advantage of passports or some kind of misbehavior, bad acting, in the government of Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett. How do we go from the 60 Minutes report, aired at the beginning of this year, to the wide world of threats to the United States?
Suspense, intrigue, theater, witty, humorous, provocative, socio-political drama, sweet melodies, harmonious choruses, and clinical stage antics, enterprising heroics. The Dominica Calypso Association, in collaboration with Heineken and Flo, present the tightest semi-finals ever. Saturday, February 11th, 2017, Newtown, Savannah, 8:30 p.m. Who will be among the final 9 to face King Dice? The star-studded lineup includes Caressa Observer, Daddy Chess, Weezer, Tasha B. Also Web, Bob Leona, Side Checo, Jammer B. Comforted, Genius, Janae, Omi, Lucas, Healer, Stefan, J.D. Beno. Nail-biting, head-throbbing, blood-pumping, no space for error or complacency. The 2017 KSO semi-finals. This Saturday, Newtown, Savannah,
Yes, sir. This is King Dice, here to let the massive know that Showdown Mascom presents night number 5 on Friday, February 10th at the Harlem Plaza from 9 p.m. here with Winston So from St. Vincent. Yeah, man. Soca meets Calypso at Mascom Friday, February 10th with Winston Soso. Come, enjoy sweet Calypso music from Triumph, Mask Eruption, Vigilante, Trinity, Leona, Beno, Sarah, Jacko, The Bob, and yours truly, King Dice, and lots more, alongside Winston Soso with big tunes like Baby I Don't Mind, Baby I Don't Mind, if you want to give me I won't refuse it. Mascom, Winston Soso, Harlem Plaza, Friday, February 10th. Sponsored by Jazz Sales, VF Inc., Neo Expressions Inc., Singwalla, Blunkvist, Williams, Continental Store, Caribbean, and Fine Foods Inc. Be there. Yaman, King Dice, said so.
It's got real big.
Grab them by 6 bars. I come back, take my soul. I got the blue and gold. This carnival, buy 2 6-packs and get a chance to win these amazing carnival prizes. First prize, 2 carnival costumes each from Amnesia and Hysteria. Second prize, 2 tickets to Feathers each. Sunja, boat cruise. First prize, 2 t-shirts from Carrier Bam T-shirt band. And fourth prize, 3 cases car. Simply write your name and contact info at the back of your receipt and drop in a promotional box to qualify to win at all leading supermarkets island-wide. Draw ends February 20th, 2017. Terms and conditions apply.
Scarab.
Drink responsibly.
Tonight. Bonsoir la messieurs, mesdames, Stardom Tent is on. Stardom Tent is on. Stardom Tent is definitely on. Stardom Tent alongside Digicel and other partners presents a KSO Talk of War with a special emphasis to talk for peace. To talk for peace. To talk for peace from 8 p.m. tonight. 16 Calypso talking about Reference Powell and Lady Star. Tonight. Bonsoir, messieurs, mesdames. Join the Stardom Tent as we talk for peace at the strip Lale Coco. 8 p.m. Sakai Mara.
Nature Island Cruise 951 on Live 95. Every day, Monday to Friday. Exploring the sights, sounds, happening talk on the blocks, healthy lifestyles, and culture of Dominica. Enjoy daily giveaways of valuable products and services from leading businesses on the Nature Island of the Caribbean. Stay locked and immerse yourself in the breathtaking views from above the undulating hills and valleys, and in the magnificent marine adventures beneath our Caribbean Sea. All this and more on Nature Island Cruise 951 on Live 95, only on the big station. Get a taste of the enchanting Creole and indigenous cuisine and lifestyles of the charming people of Dominica. Experience the dynamic rhythms of our culture, music, and entertainment, our vibrant, unique niche agribusiness products, our refreshing range of colorful flowers, and the fabulous foliage in our horticulture. Explore the prolific life-sustaining values of our natural foods, herbal teas, spices, and medicines. All this and more on Nature Island Cruise 951. Every day, Monday to Friday, on Live 95. Only on the big station. Only on Q95.
Welcome to Q95's Lunchtime News Update for today, Wednesday, February 8th, 2017, brought to you through the kind compliments of Fresh Vitamins.
At Fresh Vitamins, we've got everything you need for health and well-being. We carry a wide range of all-natural sports nutrition and health supplements, plus gluten-free and organic foods, all from quality brands, including Solaray, Cal, Bob's Red Mill, Nature's Way, Source Naturals, and Desire Way. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7, Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth, inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy.
Welcome back. In local news, Prime Minister Skerritt says no one is going to remove him from office without going through the ballots. His comment comes on the heels of the disorder which occurred last night, resulting in the widespread loss and damage to a few businesses and triggered fears for security and safety. Speaking at the 8 Banks annual general meeting earlier today, Skerritt sent a clear message to those who he claims would seek to overthrow his government that they should rethink their plans. He went on to say no attempts should be made on the part of individuals in Dominica to overthrow the current government. The Prime Minister will officially address the nation later today regarding last night's riots. In other news, Governor Kenneth Mapp late Tuesday signed a proclamation calling for a special election to fill the vacancy in the 32nd legislature of the Virgin Islands after an opinion from District Court Judge Curtis Gomez left the matter squarely in the governor's corner. The special election will see constituents in the St. Thomas St. John district going to the polls within the next 60 days and no later than April 9, 2017, to select a new senator to complete its group of 7. The announcement follows the Virgin Islands Supreme Court decision to bar Kevin Rodriguez, who had won a seat in the 32nd legislature, from being seated. Virgin Islands law requires that the governor of the Virgin Islands call for a special election within 30 days of a vacancy. And 6 Afghan Red Cross workers have been killed by suspected Islamic State group gunmen in the northern province of Showdown, officials say. The workers were shot dead in the Kushtapar area, the governor told the BBC. 2 others are unaccounted for, feared abducted by the group, he said. The ICRC confirmed the deaths but said it did not know who had killed its staff. ISIS has been active in Afghanistan since 2015, claiming recent attacks in the east and Kabul. And this concludes your Lunchtime News Update, brought to you compliments Fresh Vitamins. I'm Linda Martin. Do join us again at 4 for the Prime Evening News Update. Good afternoon.
At Fresh Vitamins, we've got everything you need for health and well-being. We carry a wide range of all-natural sports nutrition and health supplements, plus gluten-free and organic foods, all from quality brands, including Solaray, Cal, Bob's Red Mill, Nature's Way, Source Naturals, and Desire Way. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7, Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth, inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy.
Suspense, intrigue, theater, witty, humorous, provocative, socio-political drama, sweet melodies, harmonious choruses, and clinical stage antics, enterprising heroics. The Dominica Calypso Association, in collaboration with Heineken and Flo, present the tightest semi-finals ever. Saturday, February 11th, 2017, Newtown, Savannah, 8:30 p.m. Who will be among the final 9 to face King Dice? The star-studded lineup includes Caressa Observer, Daddy Chess, Weezer, Dasha B. Also Web, Bubbly Owner, Side Checo, Jammer, Be Comforted, Genius, Jeanette, Omi, Lucas, Healer, Stefan, JD, Beno. Nail-biting, head-throbbing, blood-pumping, no space for error or complacency. The 2017 KSO semi-finals. This Saturday, Newtown, Savannah,
Yes, sir. This is King Dice, here to let the massive know that Showdown Mascom presents night number 5 on Friday, February 10 at the Harlem Plaza from 9 p.m. here with Winston So from St. Vincent. Yeah, man. Soca meets Calypso at Mascom Friday, February 10th with Winston Sosa. Come, enjoy sweet Calypso music from Trial, Mask Eruption, Vigilante, Trinity, Leona, Beno, Sarah, Checo, The Bob, and yours truly, King Dice, and lots more, alongside Winston Sosa with big tunes like Baby I Don't Mind, Baby I Don't Mind, if you want to give me I won't refuse it. Mask on, Winston Sosa, Harlem Plaza, Friday, February 10th, sponsored by John Sales, VF Inc., Neo Expressions Inc., Singwalla, Blunkvist, Williams, Continental Store, Caribbean, and Fine Foods Inc. Be there, Yaman, King Dice, said so.
Dominica, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the talk on the block of the big station. This morning, the Prime Minister kind of broke his silence on violence in the city last evening. He has or had this to say.
I am saying to people in Dominica that nobody and no groups of individuals are going to get me out, my government out, without going through the ballots of Dominica. And I will say finally, never take my silence for witness. I am measured with my approach with life. I have to be reason, I have to get reason to the forefront as the leader of the country. But let it be known that there shall be no actions on the part of individuals in Dominica to overthrow this government. None. So if that's what is their intention, I am sending a message to them. They better rethink their plans.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett. This morning we heard from opposition leader Lennox Linton condemning what he described as violence and vandalism which took place in Roseau on Tuesday night following a public meeting organized by the opposition parties calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett. On Wednesday morning he said disturbances were not about our meeting. What happened last night had absolutely nothing to do with the meeting. We'll come back on that story. But first, this big story on the John Batchelor Show from the United States. On the passports and oil scandal. Let's listen.
I'm John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show. Graham Greene loves this. However, it's real. Dominica. It's an island country in the Caribbean. capital is Roseau. It's 72,000 people. It's small, 750 square kilometers, 290 square miles. But it is packed with mystery and sinister behavior and enemies of the United States. And follow the money. I have this from Gregory Copley, the editor and publisher of Defense and Foreign Affairs. This island is now of great interest for those who understand that the People's Republic of China is looking for an entry, a doorway into the new world in order to influence and intimidate the United States. That Iran is always looking for doorways, and perhaps Caracas, Venezuela is not enough, and Havana, Cuba is not enough, always looking for a way in. And then, of course, there is the story of hot money, of laundered money, always looking for a home. Gregory, a very good evening to you. This begins as a story on 60 Minutes, which is, a large-scale attention. It has to do with a corruption scheme taking advantage of passports or some kind of misbehavior, bad acting, in the government of Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett. How do we go from the 60 Minutes report, aired at the beginning of this year, to the wide world of threats to the United States? Good evening to you.
Good evening, John. Well, it is fascinating. We've been tracking this for quite some years, and I'm very familiar with Dominica. I've been down there many times. And in fact, if you might remember, the old Prime Minister Eugenia Charles was the one who called President Reagan and said, you've got to intervene in Grenada because they've just shot Prime Minister Bishop there and the U.S. has to intervene. So that was the Grenada thing. And Prime Minister Eugenia Charles was a profound friend of the U.S. and of President Reagan. Things, however, changed. Eugenia Charles, who was a lovely old lady I knew very well, she passed away, and the government in 2004 moved to this Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett's government. Now, there was already in place a deal whereby you could invest, if you like, money in the country, and you could get a passport. So this citizenship by investment scheme, which is fairly common around the Caribbean, got out of hand under Scarrett. It caused, in fact, the scheme itself caused the previous government to collapse, and then Scarrett came in and then took it over and put it big time. So he starts selling off passports, and including diplomatic passports, for large amounts of money. The cheapest would be $100,000 for a regular passport and so on. But the thing is, they haven't said how many they've sold, but we're just starting to see the scope of it coming out. And that was the scale of the 60 Minutes expose on.
So that's the part 60 Minutes touched, which is the sale of passports. Did 60 Minutes brush alongside the PRC or the Iranian part of the story?
Well, they didn't really get into that but that's what we've been tracking. When Scarrett came in 2004, he changed the Dominica's recognition of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and started recognizing the People's Republic of China, Beijing. And in return, large amounts of money flowed. Now, where it flowed to is anybody's guess. You've got this enormous PRC embassy just outside of Roseau now, on the hills overlooking the city in this very mountainous little country, beautiful country. And they've done a few schemes there, building a road, building a hospital, and they bring in all of the workers, which means that the locals are very unhappy because there are no jobs for them in any of this. But as a result of this now scam-related government, all activity devoted to the traditional agriculture and tourism sectors has gone by the wayside, really. So you've got a population which is becoming very, very divided. But the Chinese are coming in there with this large embassy, much larger than is required for a country of 72,000 people. You have Prime Minister Scarrett meeting with Xi Jinping, the president of the People's Republic of China, but also meeting with a number of other interesting Chinese people, including a Macau billionaire who just happens to be now detained in New York for trying to suborn United Nations officials because he wanted some UN activities to happen in Macau. But we know also that he's also under major investigation for trying to suborn a U.S. politician. So the knowledge now is that this Chinese citizen is Mr. Ng Lap Seng, who's now sitting cooling his heels in a hotel in New York while he's on bail. He's actually linked to Chinese PRC intelligence. So you've got that side of events. Now, okay, then you had this other side where all of a sudden Dominica needs to get oil in, or energy, and so they do a deal with Venezuela, which was going to donate some oil. They set up an oil company in Dominica. They then buy 11 major oil tankers. Now, this is a country of 72,000 people. How many oil tankers do you need? These tankers are actually set up and run by Greek shipping types who know the tanker business very well, obviously, but they're Dominica flagged. And the company running that is, strangely enough, based in Malaysia, running Dominican flagged, 11 Dominican flagged tankers. So, strangely enough, the guy who's really running all of this is an Iranian Malaysian. So what are these tankers doing? Well, basically the tankers are involved in sanctions busting for Iran. They're taking Iranian oil and selling it abroad, and almost certainly to the People's Republic of China, hence the nexus in Dominica.
All right, let me make sure I follow this, Gregory, because we're skipping around. That's the nature of the shadowy world. The tankers are managed by the Greeks, but they're flagged in Dominica, and they're run by a company out of Malaysia, but the fellow who runs them is an Iranian Malaysian. So presumably this all connects back to Tehran. Do I have that correctly? And they're selling the oil to Beijing, so Beijing is fully aware that Tehran is sanction busting using this Goldberg machine of the tankers. Is that all said correctly?
So far, so good. And of course, Roosevelt Skerritt, the Prime Minister of Dominica, is also really, really good buddies of this Iranian chap. So now, again, all well and good. He becomes the central figure in all of this. So the next thing that is that we find that Mr. Monfared, Ali Reza Monfared, the Iranian chap running all of this, is actually skimming off the top. So although he's running this illicit scheme, he's pocketing large amounts of money. He lives in a fabulous place in Malaysia. And the Iranian government gets wind of this and, of course, is, shall we say, less than happy. So as things are breaking loose and Ali Reza Monfared's picture gets in various publications alongside Mr. Skerritt, and he's living high on the hog and giving lots of expensive gifts to the Prime Minister, the Iranian government says, okay, enough of this. So I think they did a deal with the Dominican government to have Mr. Monfared appear in the Caribbean, and then they moved him out of Dominica, and I think to the Dominican Republic, where he was then arrested and extradited via Moscow to Tehran. And now I understand that Mr. Monfared's father is already on death row there over this scamming of vast amounts of money. And quite clearly, Mr. Monfared himself is either dead or you know.
Did the Skerritt government participate in this? Gregory, did Skerritt give up Monfared?
It's possible that they did, because I think the Chinese and the Iranians probably wanted to regularize the situation once again and hope to keep it very quiet. But the arrest of, as the scandal broke about the passports, and Monfared's was one of them, and this chap, the Chinese chap, who's in New York, he's also got a diplomatic passport from the Dominicans. So all of this was coming out, so that neither the Chinese nor the Iranians nor the Dominicans have been able to keep the lid on this. So it's all coming to a boil. And of course, another one of the Dominican diplomats is none other than the former Nigerian petroleum minister, who herself has stolen hundreds of millions, if not billions. We've talked about her before. This is Daisani Alison Madueke. So she has a Dominican diplomatic passport as well, and she was, of course, head of OPEC at one stage. So her skills were particularly valuable in this, and her knowledge of the oil business and of Iran, again, very, very important to all of this.
Just a minute, Gregory. You've introduced a new element here, and we have to slow it down a little bit because we're talking about going from sanctions busting to money laundering, and Gregory just introduced the former Minister of Petroleum of Nigeria, which you will recall is a pool of the best petroleum on the planet, now under the control of another president, but this is Goodluck Jonathan's regime. So one little country, 72,000 people, a den of thieves. I'm John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show. I'm John Batchelor. Gregory Copley's here, introducing us to Dominica, little island in the Caribbean, 72,000 people, 290 square miles. However, it is chock full of thieves and scoundrels and major intelligence operations, money laundering, sanctions busting, selling passports, all we can presume with the knowledge and benefit of Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett. Gregory, because we could follow down the money laundering, we understand how that works. If you're Nigerian and you've stolen billions of dollars, you need to launder it in Dominica. The same would be true for an Iranian who was skimming from his government, and that he's going to pay for that. But the PRC, I want to focus there, because this is the first time I've seen the possibility that the PRC has a doorway into the new world. I know Caracas and Venezuela and the Iranians. I know Havana and the Iranians. But is the PRC already planted in all those capitals as well, or is the Rousseau Dominica PRC, is that a big center of their operations in the new world?
So it clearly is a significant center as Beijing tries to expand its penetration of the United States from the Caribbean. Dominica is very close to the U.S. and close to the other, just between Martinique and Guadeloupe. So it's well placed in the Caribbean to penetrate the U.S. And what we're looking at is that the Caribbean really represents the third U.S. border. If you've got Mexico on the one hand, you've got Canada on the other. This is the third U.S. border. It's the Caribbean. It's very porous. There's a lot of traffic going into the U.S., out of the Caribbean. And if you were the PRC, that's something you'd want as an entry point. And clearly, with the big embassy there, which I'm sure has a substantial portion of Ministry of State Security people, you've got the links with Prime Minister Scarrett and Mr. Ng, the Macau billionaire developer intelligence guy. You've got operations out of Malaysia going in there. So clearly this is a hub for a lot of things for Beijing, but intelligence penetration has got to be key. Now, the reality is that the success of this for China, for the PRC, and for Dominica has had to, and Iran, had to be that you keep all this pretty low key, and now it's no longer low key. So what we can expect is, I think, some reasonably strong pressures from the U.S. on the U.S. because the people of Dominica have been unaware of this, and they haven't been benefiting from this. Everything's being skimmed off the top for Prime Minister Scarrett and his colleagues with bank accounts all around the world, very sophisticated operation. But we've now started to see in the last few days demonstrations in Rousseau. One very, very prominent doctor who was, in fact, a U.S. Dominican citizen. He was a major in the U.S. Army Medical Corps, highly respected and is a high-level figure in Rousseau. He was arrested by the police the other day for ostensibly fomenting violence against the government. The police were reluctant to arrest him because most of the police have actually benefited from this good doctor's works. And so anyway, he was released on bail, but this is part of the pressure they're trying to put on people to stop talking out against Skerritt. But when Dr. Christian was arrested, large numbers of Dominicans surged around police headquarters and protested, which caused a lot of panic there with the police department. All the while, by the way, Prime Minister Skerritt has been in Greece, where he's been trying to patch up things with this banker scandal to try to keep everything under wraps there. So you've had an acting Prime Minister trying to keep this under control. Meanwhile, in the US, where a large number of Dominicans are living as expats, a lot of them with US passports or dual nationality, they've started organizing an opposition movement, if you like, to protest what's going on in their home country, and they're actually calling on the United States to step in and put pressure on Roosevelt Skerritt. Skerritt saying, "Look, I was elected to serve, and I'm not going to step down." But the pressure is going to start.
Gregory, is there an indication that the Obama administration knew about this? I understand that this is all fresh information, but was the Obama administration watching this happen? Did they step back? Because I see Iran is involved here, and the late Obama administration did not want to interrupt the Iran deal. Do we know what the Obama people did in Dominica?
Well, there's no question that they had a very hands-off policy towards both Iran and China.
Right.
So what they knew is open to question, but the reality is that what they should have known is really quite significant. And in fact, the U.S. law goes very much to this. Involve the U.S. Comprehensive Iran Sanctions Accountability and Divestment Act, CISADA, and that focuses on not only what was known by people to be wrong, but also what was knowable. In other words, if it was plausible that you should have known about it,
right,
then you are liable.
And it's very hard to miss 11 tankers flagged out of Dominica with Greek crews being run by an Iranian Malaysian who's skimming, and very difficult to miss that, Gregory. All right, Dominica. Well, it's fresh to me. Everybody, you can search. Graham Greene could have made this up, but he didn't. It's on the map. And the Prime Minister Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has a lot to answer for to the Trump administration. Iran, China, Nigerian stolen money, everything in one little place. I'm John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show.
Dominica, you heard for yourself. So while the focus in Dominica is violence among our youth in the city, the U.S. is taking note. Again, this was from the John Batchelor Show. The U.S. is watching. It's 1:30. I'm going to connect with the Diaspora this time, connect to Dr. Dale Dangleben. He was part of a delegation in Washington yesterday, focusing in Dominica. Dr. Dale Dangleben, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Matt. How are you?
Good. I guess you heard for yourself some of the concern coming out of this talk show from John Batchelor.
Yes, absolutely. And, that makes sense why there needs to be a distraction down there. I want to start by saying that we denounce any violence. We call for peace. But I also want to say one thing. I want to start by saying this. I want to say Gun Emanuel. I want to say Melville Hall fire. I want to say Silver Lake fire. And I want to say last night incident. We are up here, and we're going to keep the pressure. Let those with a mind think. Let them think rationally about the event. but I am not here to regurgitate the events. You heard what Mr. Copley just said on your program that you just played.
But help them understand, Dominicans listening at this time, Dale, who's Mr. Copley?
Well, again, I think it's I don't want to go too much into detail, but again, he is the president and chief analytical officer. Talk about defense of foreign affairs, the GIS, Global Information System. So again, these are things that Dominicans need to understand, but we're not going to go too much into this. I do want to say, though, let me say this. I want to say this. Where was Skerritt, Blackmore, or Tony asked the fans in days leading up to the meeting? Skerritt snuck back into the country in a private jet at Kinsfield in the cover of darkness. He never addressed his people. He never mentioned Montferrat. Now today, everyone is vocal. Our focus is not on the local right now. Our focus is on the international outlook on the crimes that has been highlighted, committed by Roosevelt Skerritt, and that's where we're going.
But you did say that, of course, you put something together sometime last evening. What's going on? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I'm giving you pieces of it.
Oh, pieces of it.
Why hasn't he spoken on the Montferrat issue? Why hasn't he spoken on the oil tanker issue? Skerritt stood in Parliament 2 years ago and said that Dominica is dependent only on loans, grants, and taxes. Never mentioned passport and money, never mentioned oil tanker money while he was committing this international crime. Last night was a well-orchestrated distraction on what is bothering the Prime Minister of Dominica, and that is his involvement in the international crimes as outlined by Mr. Copley. He has tainted the name of Dominica and the Caribbean, and America is now looking at him. Listen to the Copley report and listen carefully, people. This is about Skerritt, this is about Iran, and this is about China.
I know you had a very important meeting. You had some meetings in Washington yesterday. Can you tell us a little about what came from that?
Absolutely, we met some very important people as we went along Washington D.C. and we met with the congressmen, and we're fighting for our country. We're fighting for justice that people on the ground don't understand. Again, we will release a report. I stood with Maslin Edwards. I stood with Gabriel Christian. We stood together with a whole bunch of patriots up here, and we the diasporans, we are united, and we're calling on more diasporans because again, we need to look at this from an international standpoint because Dominica has been tainted. We will give you some more reports on our Washington D.C. visit at a later time.
Okay. Any further issues to explore this time?
I just want to read this statement.
Okay, go ahead.
We the diasporans will be more united as we work collectively to bring even more attention to Skerritt's crimes. We declare that we stand with Dominicans for the defense of democracy, and we are Dominica. We are concerned about the reputation of Dominica and the Caribbean in the global community. Antigua has taken a stance, and the world is paying attention. Let the small-minded DLP politicians that are defending the international activity of Skerritt keep up with their act. Skerritt can fool his local base, but he cannot fool us. Dominica will be free of his lies and ill reputation that he has brought on Dominica. We have called on the diasporans to come together to increase the pressure from the outside on Roosevelt Skerritt. Today, we stand taller and we stand stronger for Dominica. The crowd yesterday, let me say this in closing, the crowd yesterday crushed Skerritt's ego. He will not show it because that's how psychopaths work. He cannot stomach that how many people came out and support the action for his resignation. So he has to lash out. And I want folks to think about this distraction that has happened and think about the other things that has happened in our island. The pressure is from diaspora. The pressure is from the United States. Skerritt has to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dale Dangleben there in the diaspora. We're going to take a phone call now, trying to get in touch with the lawyer represented a number of young persons who have been arrested in the cells surrounding the violence in the streets of Roseau last evening. Let's take a phone call. Hello, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon to all your listeners.
Yes, sir.
Matt, I understood what the gentleman said on the program, Matt. I am not going to support any government, matters what they do, because I'm hearing people saying doesn't matter what, they will support their prime minister. I am not going to do that. You do wrong, I'm going to condemn the wrong you are doing. Good afternoon. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day. Hello, talk to me.
Hey, Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I you play a clip in earlier on about Skerrit and breaking his silence.
Yes.
So I expect him to be speaking about Ali Riza Monfared and then the whole situation that you just played there with the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he break his silence on all those things.
Very damning program on Dominica.
My brother, you realize how much years these people have been investigating Dominica or keeping an eye on Dominica? The guy went back all the way to, he came here how many times during the Eugenia Charles government?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he went all the way back and they know exactly what's going on when Skerrit changed over from Taiwan to China. And they say lots of money flow back then.
There's another explosive program that will be aired tonight on CNN about the passport program.
And Dominica?
Not necessarily Dominica, but the Caribbean. Yeah, the world.
It was the gaping hole.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's tonight on CNN. 138.
My brethren, blessings to you.
To you, sir.
Matt, how could you doctor that, man? I just wake up in a twilight zone, Matt. I mean, it must be Lennox that do that. I mean, I went to a college student to write when it was workers that do that. Now it's Lennox that did that. Matt, there is a thing. I'm open sesame. You hear about a magical word, and then and a great door with jewelries and everything open, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lennox have a magical word, sort of something like that, and everything start to fall apart, Matt. Sort of something like that, and everything start to fall apart. Matt, listen. I am listening, and the brother, what he's doing now in his desperation and in his delusional state of mind is to go all around giving money. But did I hear you said carefully, the brother said that everybody they place house vandalized downtown going to get money?
I heard some story as it relates to, he may have made some statement on DBS that some people who were involved in this issue were receiving money. I don't know, if that is true. I'm still trying to confirm.
Okay, well, we do not want to go repeating that unless we can confirm.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say something, Matt. Dominicans must wake up to the realization Skerrit will be long gone, and Dominica and the children and grandchildren will be there. Listen to who Skerrit going in trouble, the almighty America. Yeah, all of us are saying, don't worry, David and Goliath will defeat them. That is what your delusional mind tell you too. Being obsessed with a man, saying you love him, you're preoccupied with him because you have the right and you're eating out of his hands like a fowl. Dominicans, wake up and do whatever you have to do to reclaim Dominica. Skerrit may have sold Dominica to the Chinese already. And as I learned, Skerrit is a Chinese spy and intelligent. So we should rise up, my brother, and try to save Dominica from the clutches of Skerrit and the Chinese. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those of you who missed it, I will repeat it in the morning. Very, very interesting show there from this gentleman. Hello, talk to me.
Hi, Matt. Good afternoon.
To you.
How are you, Matt? How are you?
Okay.
Okay, I am Marklin Edwards, and I have a statement to issue on behalf of the Dominica in Defense for the Democracy Group.
Mm-hmm.
And in light of what happened yesterday, and I'll go. Dominicans in Defense of Democracy condemns the violence on Dominica. Yesterday, Dominicans on the island held a successful rally that was peaceful and law-abiding. Upon information and belief, no one of the rally called for burning and looting. Dominicans in Defense of Democracy do not support violence. We ask for civil disobedience, Martin Luther King style. We have warned that, however, of our history as a people, and that any government which is lawless and does not fight and does violence, it opens the door to disorder. We ask for the resignation of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, as it is rightful in a civilized country and democracy. We ask for unity government. We ask for commission of inquiry. We ask for electoral reform. The government rejected all our peaceful demands. They fabricated changes over an almost 2-year-old comment and arrested Dr. Sam, who spoke out. They placed snipers on roofs during the rally and tried to intimidate and suppress the people. They antagonized travelers after the event yesterday was over. We asked for an investigation into police handling of the aftermath of the rally. The government, by its lawless conduct, continue to place the island in peril. The dispossessed without chance or hope will always riot at any given moment in society. Dominica is a combustible mix of people angry at the loss and who see no future, and we know hence a call for the government which has failed us to go. We must stand fast for demand and call for peacekeepers if a government will not peacefully. We support the call for peace and order by the opposition. We ask for a meeting between government, the parliamentary opposition, and civil society now to restore stability to the country. Where the government criminalizes dissent, it only inflames matters. Thank you very much, Matt.
All right, thank you very much too, and of course, just joining us there for a moment to give us an update as to what is going on with the young people who were arrested and in the cells. I'm being told maybe more than 20 persons may be in that cell. Of course, the man from the valley, they call him attorney at law. How are you doing, my brother?
Good afternoon, Matt, and let me say good afternoon to all your listeners. It has been a long time.
The same Ronald Charles?
This is Ronald Charles, yes. And my voice still a little bit,
You spoke too much yesterday.
Well, I didn't speak much at all. I suspect when I started speaking, somehow the words couldn't come out.
But today you on a different mission. I'm being told that you maybe representing some young people arrested and in the cells at this point.
Yes, Matt, quite a number of young persons has been arrested. For matter of fact, by my by speaking with most of them, the ages range from about 16 years to about 23, 24. And it's young boys, and unlike popular belief, most of the guys are from Roseau.
No ladies?
No ladies. No ladies. I have not yet come across any ladies. But most of the young fellas are from Roseau and environs.
By your own estimation, how many people are we talking about here?
Approximately, we're looking at least 18 to 20 persons.
All right.
18 to 20. And a lot of them, the thing is, Matt, let me first, for the record, put a serious condemnation as to what has transpired last night, especially when it comes to the destructions of persons' property, people's livelihood, and, people, building and so forth. And it's a serious matter, and it should not continue in any way, shape, or form. Having said that, there are quite a number of young persons that was probably engaged in their normal ways of life last evening. When I say this, I mean there were people going to their homes, there were people leaving work, and they were just picked up according to my instructions that I've received from these young boys that are in the cells. I feel very saddened because there's also a young...
So they were in the wrong place at the wrong time?
That could be the case. That could be the case. Some persons were picked up waiting for the bus. As long as you look in, I guess the whole issue of suspicion, the police, again, within their powers, have a right to pick up persons if they figure they suspect or they have some suspicion that that person may be involved in any activity that is unlawful. At the end of the day, they would have that authority to do so. But I am sure and I am certain that a number of these young persons that were picked up last evening by my estimation, based on what they're saying to me, not based on the investigations, because I'm trying to get in touch with the investigating officers, it seems and it appears that task force have some in there. You know, the ordinary police have some in there, so it's they're putting their act together to try and get, you know, to the bottom of everything so that they can do the necessary investigations.
So preliminary investigations, that's what is going on.
That I believe so, and I'm almost certain that a few of them that are innocent and just, you know, just going out to their normal business will be released because they have nothing to do with the event. But again, the police have their work to do and they're doing what they have to do. So Matt, that is basically what I can say for now for the record, because some of these guys, I'm representing them. If it comes down to they be in charge, again, we will look at the second step that we need to take. I must admit, Matt, going to the cells this afternoon, or this morning actually, it is really something that, and I see a lot of persons have made the call for social reform for young people. Not only that, but social reform in terms as it relates to holding cells. You have almost 13, 14 people in a very small area. You know, most of them cannot lie down. Most of them, they have to be standing. So they were upstanding from last night up to now. They're there. Investigations. So
you're asking the question, where's the humanity there?
Yes, that is very important to me, because at the end of the day, even if some persons may have done wrong, their dignity, the framework within the law must be upheld. And in the circumstances, we have to look into even deeper things now. Reforms for young people, juvenile. I know for a fact we need serious social reform. We need to look at our young people more in depth. And we need to take certain steps to ensure that incidents like I was amazed, because when you hear the other radio stations speak of last night's event, they spoke in a manner that Lennox Linton was mashing up people thing, Ronald Charles was mashing up, Joshua Francis, Hector John, and all this. Even
I heard
that they're not voting.
I heard that. I was actually walking through town, and some people are suggesting that Matt, you two were in it, and they're suggesting that they should pick up all the leadership, yourself, the executive of the United Workers' Party.
Well, Matt, anytime they pick me up, I will not resist for sure, and I will follow all the necessary instructions when they decide to do so. But you see, this is a serious diversion, Matt. Unfortunately, I heard a little clip of what you were playing this afternoon. Now, I do not know all the information as it relates to that, and it will be rather not wise to comment fully on it unless I make my necessary investigation. But based on what I just heard on my way to your radio station, this is the issues that we need to be looking into, the serious issues surrounding what the tape that you played. What was the name of the guy?
John Batchelor.
John Batchelor, and the comments that he made. Now, is it these are the things we now need to break down so that our people can understand the position that we are in as a country. And we have a lot of people now advocating for Dominica to get back on its feet. I am very much saddened by the whole issue, where this issue now wants to be relocated in the sense that, hey, you know, we had some fight last night, and no, this is not the major.
So that's a distraction.
This is a very, and I think they're good at it, because everybody's speaking about it. When the other issues came out, and Matt, you articulated it on all the issues as it relates to the alleged sale of passport and where money is going and who is getting rich and who is not getting rich. There wasn't all this talk. I didn't hear not one minister saying, well, I don't know this man and I have nothing to do with him. For matter of fact, I never met him. But last evening, it was almost your turn next to talk now. Your turn next. Let's hit. Because if we can now take the population and let it look that the United Workers' Party is not in the best interest of Dominica, because last night some young little boys run around town and did some and allegedly did some damage to property, and therefore it is the United Workers' Party. Let me say, it is not the United Workers' Party, and we condemn it. And a matter of fact, we're very seriously, and if I represent some of the guys here, and because of that, there is certain things that I can say and there are certain things that I will not say, and therefore in the circumstances, it will all come out. The news will be there. People will hear. People will see for themselves. So the rush into the diversion is also an attack on our democracy. And we now have to sit back and don't jump into conclusion. Let us sit back and realize that Dominica has a volcano of issues. And it is passing through the conduit of corruption. And it must stop.
All right, let's do this tomorrow morning. Again, if you missed it at 1 o'clock on Talk on the Block, I'll repeat. Tomorrow morning on the hot set. Let's listen.
It has to do with a corruption scheme, taking advantage of passports or some kind of misbehavior, bad acting, in the government of Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett. How do we go from the 60 Minutes report, aired at the beginning of this year, to the wide world of threats to the United States?
Let's take a phone call here. Talk to me.
Hey, Matt, good afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Matt, Ronald Charles said something there I want to support, There are quite a few people that were picked up last night that were going about their own business. Because at one point, I think the police got so frustrated they didn't know who was who, and actually heard a policeman say, whether you are in it or not, everybody going up tonight, because they ask quite a few people to get off the streets, and they say when they pass back, they're just going to pick up people. And that statement was made right there on Great Marlborough Street, opposite the NDFD, and they pick up about 4 guys there. One of the guys' slippers may be still in the area because they sent him in the van backwards, and his slippers just left his feet. So these are the things that were taking place last night. There was a great deal of frustration, and the police decided everybody they meet, they just picking up. So Ronald Charles needs to be guarded against that, and I guess listen to the guys what they have to say.
All right, thank you very much. I'm just hearing from Dr. Thompson Fontaine, who says, Matt, my nephew was one of those who was picked up last night and severely beaten by the police. I'm not taking this lightly, especially considering he was not even near the protest. I'm hearing some, very interesting stories of people just leaving work and picked up by the police. Hello, talk to me. Hello.
Good afternoon to you, Matt, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Yes.
Great report of an America. Great report. And I think you need to play it again. Matt, I see Lauren Barnes and Vincent Nissen there. What are they doing in Dominica? I'm wondering.
I don't know. I heard she was here for another meeting, but investigations are still going on with this one. Hello.
Oh, Matt, how are you doing?
Good.
Matt, you see, it's so ridiculous that the Labour Party machinery, propaganda machinery, are trying to use this unfortunate incident as a distraction. I listened to Lennox Linton speak at the meeting yesterday, and he repeatedly said, we come in peace, we are living in peace. He kept using the word peace and thanking the police for maintaining the peace. He kept talking about peace. How could that same Lennox Linton be responsible for what the Sierra young boys did hours after the peaceful meeting had ended? The peaceful meeting ended about after 4. That thing started happening about 6, 7 o'clock. How can you blame the UWP for that? They're desperate for a distraction. But I was happy to hear this morning that the fight continues and they have to go. They must go. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much. As I said, tonight as well, you can stay tuned to CNN. There's another very interesting report there, documentary on the passport scandal around the world. Hello, talk to me.
Yes, Matt, a blessed good afternoon to you, Matt.
Yes.
Last night, I was really worried about my family back in Dominica, Matt. But Matt, I'm still saying that Dominica is still the best place to live, to work, and to come and spend vacation, Matt. And what really took place last night was rather unfortunate. But Matt, I saw when Roosevelt Scarrett said that he visited those places that were looted last evening, and he's going to speak to that sometime today, Matt. Matt, Roosevelt Scarrett needs to tell the people of Dominica why is it that the banks actually cancel all transactions with his government, because all these things that happened, all what took place last night is as a result of that, Matt. People are frustrated, Matt, and Roosevelt Scarrett needs to come clean with the people of Dominica, because Matt, there'll be more to come, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll end with, of course, Attorney at Law Ronald Charles, who's the president of the United Workers' Party. I'm hearing there may be a news conference. Ronald Charles will confirm that. Hello, talk to me.
Hello, good afternoon, Matt.
Yes.
Matt, what has happened to this country because greed, Matt? Matt, where did Roosevelt got that greed from? The Islamic Republic of Iran, no country to make joke with, Matt. I've been saying that Hezbollah is a department of the Iranian army, and it's Iran that financing that group. Even Iran sent 2 Hezbollah fighters down here to look for security for their money. Matt, we need to continue to put pressure on Roosevelt Skerrit to vacate the seat of the leadership of this country. And he knows that the Americans want him. So he can make a deal with the leadership of civil society now and the opposition, or be jammed between a hard place and a rock. The Americans on one side and the machinery of the opposition in this country on the other. Is greed. I heard him telling somebody that have worked more than 50 years and built a hotel that she cannot paint a hotel because he is the richest man on earth. The opposition leader, he is responsible for fixing the salary of the opposition leader. He's showing word, you cannot pay your passage to go to Marigot because he is the richest man. He wouldn't have use for that money very soon, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you. One final phone call and we'll wrap it up with Ronald Charles. Hello.
Matt, good afternoon.
Yes.
Well, you are wrapping it up in the best possible way. I'm going to look at the spiritual side of what is happening, Matt. Matt, my greatest problem and concern at this point in time is to see that